Alright, now that we've got these bottom two layers solved on each side, and we still have this bottom face that we did the very first time still completely intact, and these two layers solved, now we move on to almost solving the Rubik's Cube. Our next objective is to get a green cross on this top side, where it's directly opposite the side we had solved before. So in order to do this, you hold the cube from any side you want, whichever side you think looks prettier. In this case, I think the orange side does. And then to get this green cross on the top side, you'll do the algorithm that I'm about to tell you from anywhere on the cube as long as this blue face is still facing down. So it's going to be front, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted. See, the orange face is still facing me. And now what that did was it added some more green onto this top layer, which all that we need is these three green right here. Once you can, if you start out with that dot there, when you do the algorithm, it'll make an L shape like this, which you'll want to hold in the top left corner so that it kind of squares off this corner right here. And normally it'll be any color. Sometimes it'll be green like this is to make this square of 4, but other times it could be like a yellow, a white, or a red or something like that. Now that we've done this and we have the L in the top left corner, we do that same exact algorithm I just said from with this side with the L in the top left corner, front, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted. What that does now is gives me a horizontal line. This piece from here, instead of being in that L shape, move right down here to give me this horizontal line. And all of my stuff that we did before is still intact here. So now that I have this horizontal line, it doesn't matter which side I go from as long as this line stays horizontal. You can't do it with the line up and down vertically. You can do it from this side or from this side. Then you do that algorithm one more time to get that cross that we're looking for. So front, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted. Now we have this cross on the top layer. Now what we want to do, now that we have this cross up here, is line up crosses on each of these edges. And in order to get the crosses on every single side, first we have to turn the piece so that we have at least 2 crosses somewhere on the cube. Now see how this is red right here, so we turn it to the red face like this, so that now we have a red cross here. Alright, now that we have turned it so that the red side is facing us with that cross there, we look to see if when we turned it, if it's going to line up any more crosses on these sides, which it didn't, so this will not work. The cross is still up here, but now we need to try and turn the orange towards the orange side and make a cross here, and as you can see, it also made a cross right here, which is what we need. We need 2 crosses, and they will usually end up one directly to the side of another one, and sometimes you will end up with one cross here and one cross on the opposite side here. But what you want to do when you have these 2 crosses right here is turn it so that one cross is in your right hand and the other cross is facing away from you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do right, up, right inverted, up, right, up, up, right inverted, and then one final up to line up all of these crosses on the same side. Alright, sometimes though you will end up with a cross right here like you needed, but it won't be on either side right beside it, and it will end up on the opposite side like I said before. What you're going to do is that same algorithm I had just said before, but instead of that last up, you'll just leave it alone. So hold one cross directly towards you and the other cross that's on the opposite side away from you. Don't put a cross in your right hand this time, because then the other one will be in your left hand also. So hold one cross towards you, one cross away from you, and do that same algorithm I said before. Right, up, right inverted, up, right, up, up, right inverted. Now, instead of doing that one final up to line up all the crosses, you're going to leave it alone, and it's going to have this same red cross here, and then it'll line up this white cross, like I needed before, right beside each other. Now what I'm going to do is that same algorithm with the one in my right hand and the one away from me, and then it will line up all the crosses that I needed. Right here. Alright, now that I have all of these crosses lined up, the last thing to do is get these corners in the right spot to solve the Rubik's Cube. Now what I'm going to do is, don't move the top layer at all, you leave that alone so that all of these crosses stay lined up, but you look for one that is in the correct spot. You don't want to move it to make it in the correct spot. Like this one, it's not in the correct spot. If I moved it here, it would be in the correct spot, just not flip the right direction, because it would be green, white, and orange, green, white, and orange. But don't do that. Leave it alone so that all of these crosses stay lined up. And just look for one that's already in the correct spot. In this case, none of them are, because this is green, yellow, orange, and this is green, yellow, red. You needed it over here. But that's perfectly okay. All you have to do is do up, right, up inverted, left inverted, up, right inverted, up inverted, or left, I'm sorry. Now all these crosses stay in the correct spot, but what that did is it will put a cube in the correct spot like I needed, but not flipped the right direction, like this one here, green, orange, white, green, orange, white, and all these crosses are still lined up where they're supposed to be. All that did was put a corner in the correct spot. Now that you have one of the pieces in the correct spot, you're going to do that same algorithm I just did to get it here, but it's going to line up all of these corners. Usually you will only have to do it once, but sometimes you'll have to do the algorithm twice to get all the corners in their correct spot. You should never have to do it more than twice. So once you have a corner in the correct spot, the green, orange, white, you're going to hold it in the bottom right corner of the up face. And you're going to do that algorithm I did before, but some people think it is easier to think of it as up, away from you, up inverted, away from you, up, towards you, up inverted, towards you. So you know what that did was it left that corner in the correct spot, and instead of, like I said, you might have to do it twice, and at the maximum that's all you should have to do is twice, but it kept that corner in the same spot, and it's getting ready to line up all of these corners in the correct spot. So now you will do that same algorithm with the correct corner in the bottom right side. So up, away from you, up inverted, away from you, up, towards you, up inverted, towards you. Now what that did is it kept the corner in the correct spot, just not flipped the right direction. It put this corner actually in the correct spot. It put this corner also in the correct spot with the green, red, yellow, green, red, yellow. It's just not oriented the right direction. And then it also put this corner in the correct spot, the green, yellow, orange, green, yellow, orange. Now what you have to do is the final algorithm to line up all of these corners in the correct spot. Now what you're going to do is, if you already have a corner solved, just leave it alone, don't touch that. But sometimes you'll have all four corners not solved yet. They will be in the correct spot, just not flip the right direction. So when you want to flip it the correct direction, hold it in the bottom right corner like we did before over here, and do this algorithm until the green lines up top here. It's going to be right inverted, right, down, right inverted, down inverted, right, down. And you keep doing this until that green lines up on the top where it's supposed to be. Most people forget once it goes into the correct spot where it's supposed to be to do that one last down. But you have to do that down, otherwise it's going to screw up the whole cube. So right now it looks like my entire cube is messed up because I did that right inverted right down to get this corner in the correct spot, but that's alright. That algorithm makes it look like you messed up the entire cube, but all you have to do is keep that face that you started the right inverted algorithm on. Like I started it on the yellow face, did the right inverted right down. You need to stay on that face. Don't turn the entire cube to get the next corner in the bottom right corner and then start doing that algorithm. You need to keep it on the yellow face and then turn only the top layer to get that next corner in the bottom right. You always need the cube that you're trying to solve in the bottom right for this algorithm in order to get it to move into the correct spot. And then once you have turned only the top layer to get it in the bottom right side, you do that right inverted, right, down, and you keep doing that algorithm until the green moves back up into that spot like it did on the last time, which is going to be right here, moves into that line of green like you need. Do that one more right, and then do that final down. Don't forget about that last down, most people do. And then, like I said before, only turn the top layer so that the corner that you need to solve is in the bottom right. Never turn the entire cube. So you turn it so that it's in the bottom right, and then you do that right inverted, right, down, right inverted, right, down, right inverted, right, down, and one more time to get it into the right spot. And now all that's left is to turn the top layer until you have it all lined up. And now you know how to solve a Rubik's Cube.